Welcome back, friends. We stopped off with how Jesus's the Paschal mystery of Jesus Christ, elevated our human nature to that of an adopted son and daughter of the Most High God. It's not something that comes from our human nature. And that elevation of children of God is one of family, not a creator creature type of relationship, which is more of one of submission. Our human nature is a given status. It's given that our human nature is not possible without the condescension of God to merit that kind of gift as being his children. It was a free gift. God reached down, he saw our poverty, and he on his own raised us up to be with him. This is not vital eminence, and we're returning to this. I know we covered it at great length in modernism, but it is such a heresy in our day and age, is that just because we draw air, we therefore are going to heaven, is a serious error. It's a serious error. We are not entitled, but we're gifted. And I'll have a link to that particular episode where we define vital eminence. But we're not entitled to the beatific vision. That was sin created, and in past, sin was one problem, but it's our human nature is another one. We're not divine. We have a spark of divinity in us, but that doesn't make us God. And to dwell with God denotes some way of bridging what he is to that which we are. And so that's the path. Then you throw sin into it, and then we really got a pickle.
Right.
But on our part, we must, for our part, this salvation requires our belief, our acceptance, and our free will. We must inform our intellect, we strengthen our will, and freely accept these truths. God will not save us without our cooperation. The Father will not violate our free will.
Yeah, it's very interesting in the especially in the modern world, how within the Catholic Church there is the belief of who goes to heaven and who doesn't go to heaven has been, it's a constant topic of preaching and homilies from the standpoint of those four last things, the things that we ponder. And it's been very interesting, I think, over the past, mostly the past 100 years, that the Catholic Church has been excoriated by Protestants for having a belief in what will be called the communion of saints, right? Where we have truly a lively sense of hope that people who have gone before us have been able to be graced with that gift that God promised us as adopted sons and daughters. That despite their humanness, God is able to heal that and bring them into a beatific vision. And we go through this incredible process of canonization, of years of prayer and study and discernment. And we even go so far, the church even goes so far as to put up a devil's advocate to show that maybe this person wasn't as holy and really doesn't merit this grace that is going to be bestowed on him. And it requires one or two miracles, right, to be declared a saint. And yet now, every single person who dies immediately outside of the Catholic Church is immediately canonized with no questions asked. And it has become a right, a presumption, as opposed to a gift that is longed for. And it's a shocking shift in, I think, the cultural mindset. And another thing that's very interesting along with that I think goes alongside with that in an interesting kind of way, is that you look at the past during this coronavirus. There are very few places where you could go, right? So my husband and I we would take the kids on long walks through cemeteries, because there are a lot of very old and venerable cemeteries nearby our house with large monuments and huge mausoleums. And when you look at the way that our ancestors treated their dead, it tells us that they had there was some lively hope of something beyond them, and they longed for it, and they prayed for it, and they would make markers, and and put a place where people could come and pray for these loved ones. Well, now, for heaven's sake, how we treat our dead is so casual. I mean, you're lucky, number one, if you get a full burial with your body intact, laid in the ground as you were brought into the world, right? The vast majority of people burn up the bodies of their loved ones and maybe bury them, right? But that's a corporal work of mercy within the church. The church has always recognized, even going back to the classical world, right? Antigone, one of her brave actions of the classical heroine was that she put dirt over the body of her dead brother when it was forbidden, right? This memento mori that was built into the human conscience. Now, because we presume that people just go right to heaven, there is no longer any respect for the dead body anymore, because for what? And I see these two things, this presumptive love from the Father and our disdain for our human self. These two things are of a piece, right? And our Lord Christ, I don't want to get too ahead, but that whole concept of the Sacred Heart of Christ, that burning fire, that burning furnace of charity in his natural heart, right, consumed with love for us. We are so far away from that authentic burning love because we just assume that it's there.
That's right. Presumption. All right, my friends. In the next episode, we're going to turn a little bit to see some of the attributes of God the Father. Till the next time, Fide Sed Ratio.